Welcome back, everybody. So report cards, they're coming out around the country, and parents, well, you may be surprised by what you're seeing. Online learning platform Varsity Tutors has actually identified the beginnings of a COVID-19 induced academic slide in subjects like math, science, even English and language arts. So joining us right now to discuss, we have the Chief Academic Officer over at Varsity Tutors, Brian Galvin. Hey, Brian, welcome back to the show. So for those of you who don't know, what is the COVID-19 academic slide?
Sure, and thank you for having me. You think of a typical school year, right before it is a summer vacation of 8 to 10 weeks. And data over the years shows us that over that time, students lose about 20% of their reading gains from the prior year and 30% of their math gains. Well, this year we've got three factors working against us to really exacerbate that. One is, for a lot of students, it was a longer summer this year. As school started a little bit later, ended a little bit earlier. It was a pretty shaky spring, I think we'll all admit, that led into that summer as we kind of scrambled to figure out remote learning. And then we still have all the challenges of learning remotely or hybrid learning and all those things. So those three factors mean that students started the year behind, and it's been an uphill battle to catch up. I think as a lot of families are learning as they see report cards this fall, or this month we've got a lot of parent-teacher conferences kind of confirming that.
Wow. So how do you measure it then specifically? Is it those three categories right there?
We've been measuring really since the summer, kind of looking at grade level readiness for students next grade. So we've had over 60,000 students nationwide take diagnostic assessments in our learning lab to kind of find out, where are you relative to the grade level you should be at in a whole bunch of different skills. So with over 1 million data points, we've found that it's not uniform. It's not that kids are across the board behind, but in every subject, there are a handful of what we consider critical skills that this year's curriculum kind of requires that and are able to do that are giving more than half of students trouble. So, for example, with 4th and 5th grade, a lot of it comes down to divisibility and fractions. And what we want to make sure families know is that when things like, pre-algebra and algebra build on that, and then, of course, later on, higher level math builds on algebra, what we want to avoid is this year's deficiency being something that recycles itself and builds, throughout future years.
Yeah, proactive rather than almost reactive to these sorts of situations. Exactly. Yeah. So right now, still remote learning. It's going on everywhere. We have a whole new semester even coming up into the new year. So what do you think the families at home should know about trying to just break this academic slide?
Sure. Two things are really important. I think one is to recognize that the COVID slide is real and we will need some supplemental education for it. We don't want schools to spend all of this year reviewing last year, then no kids get ahead, and then a lot of kids become bored. We know the number one cause of misbehavior is just, kids aren't challenged and they're looking for something to do. So we'll need to do some supplementing, whether that's parents, working a little bit after school and on weekends, whether it's outsourcing with tutoring or small classes with a company like Varsity Tutors. The other important thing is to diagnose. We don't want to inundate students with endless review. They're already frustrated. Learning remotely isn't as fun as learning in class with your friends around and recess and those kind of things. So if we diagnose and find out, exactly what each student needs to work on, we can make it tangible. We can make sure the extra time we're asking of them and extra effort, is really tailored to exactly what they need to succeed. So diagnose and supplement.
There you go. Brian Galvin from Varsity Tutors. Where do our viewers go to get more info on this if they want to explore it?
Yeah, come find us at varsitytutors.com. You can take those free diagnostics and get custom learning plans. We've got classes specific to the most mistaken skills for a lot of kids. We've got tutoring, obviously, and plenty more. Come see us at varsitytutors.com.
All right. Thank you very much, Brian. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Be well, buddy.
You too. Thank you.